At one moment in this demo, I thought I gonna throw up. Got that sick feeling in my stomach. Okay, about that later. Before Necrophosis there was this game called Scorn, and I wasn't able just to psychologically convince myself to play it, but this time I thought, okay, at least these are not shooter, more like walking simulator, and I gotta try this out, as maybe I won't feel that immersed in game to feel that gore stuff too much. Before I continue with review, for context, Necrophosis art is inspired by Polish artist Zdzisław Beksinski. He has art like Confession, Embrace, Night Creeper, Noble, and others. Okay, so what I'm doing already in this game? The first room. I had to admit I was confused at first. There was lack of in-game guidance what keys I had to use, so I had to find out by myself and go to look for controls. It was a bit weird that I had to press E key to interact, because by default or natural feeling I had to use mouse, because I also had to point mouse on that object, so for a while I stuck here. When I took the eye from one of corpses, I even thought that there are some kind of glitch or something, but in reality I just had to rotate to correct position to detach the eyeball. So when this creature had both eyes, it came to life. So afterwards you can exit this place, but you have that jaw drop situation when you see this monstrosity. One moment I even thought I'm screwed, but I was lucky that this thing just wanted to talk a bit.
Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert.
Stamped on these lifeless things. The hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed.
Afterwards, for a while, I just looked on sights around me. I think that the most scary thing is those faces, as these are, I think, most important thing from which we can recognize others, so to see them mutilated and deadish is quite uneasy. On every direction you watch there are death, gore, etc. This machine actually for me resembles one from movie Prometheus, isn't it similar? So further on I started to look for stuff, and some scenes were scary and gross, like here I removed brain from this creature and those shadowy ones just did God knows what to him. So when I found this crab-like creature, it was clear that this is a gate to further exploration, so I had to get 3 brains for him. So further on I found some kind of semi-human-like bug. Then I found bone carcass, which is used on that Prometheus cannon to access it. That scene also is kinda gross. I didn't understood if a protagonist places his own brain inside that corpse or what, but cannon is used on that cross. After some exploration I ended up to this guy who was praying to some kind of god, so I went inside and the back sealed. So I had to solve this puzzle. It should be easy, as you had to find 6 eyes and those are in these figures on each side, but for me for some reason graphic models for those were glitchy and I can't find the last one. I even ended up watching other player walkthroughs and eventually, thanks to some luck, I found it. cause it was partially hidden. So you place the last eye and
Behold, the burden of choice falls upon thee. As the hour draws near, thou shalt stand at the crossroads of death and rebirth.
afterwards, after some puzzle solving, I searched the area for third brain and it was found near this poor guy. Scene is also pretty gross. It seems like that brain is fallen out of him and I just took that. So it had to be placed in that crab thing, and also brains had to be in a correct order. Then I entered next area where are these massive skeleton skulls represented some kind of gods, so there was also some monologue.
A lone wanderer, venturing into our desolate domain, after eons untold.
Then had to free up creature who was nailed down to ground and hand him corpses. This was place when something was builded enough inside me of that gross thing and I got kinda sick feeling in my stomach. I even started to think if I wouldn't throw up at some point. Later on that evening, one moment I got dizzy head and now I think maybe it was linked to this experience. It's not like I can't handle this type of stuff, but there is so much of that and probably that triggers something. Once that is done, I can get past this place, so basically our monologue by some kind of godish creator thing.
A ghostly form, a galaxy's sweep. As you pass by, I stir and rise, a spectral being.
After that I had to activate some kind of a giant who is controlled by a protagonist, so with that creature I can open giant doors and this is when demo ends. My conclusions: if you can tolerate gore stuff, don't play this game, because I almost threw up and I think this demo was enough for me. Not interested in full version. Otherwise I think it is a great piece of art. Similarly, like Scorn, I think it will be like a museum full of gore type of art pieces.